This is a best-selling device of 2018. This one is Redmi Note 5 AI, and there is a global variant of this same device which is called Redmi Note 5 Pro. There are difference between both of them in software side and also in hardware side. So as you know, the global variant get global version of MIUI and Chinese variant get their own MIUI with Chinese apps and other things. The main hardware difference between both of them is with the front facing camera. So this Chinese variant got 13 megapixel front facing camera, where the global version got 20 megapixel front facing camera. So these are the only difference between both of them. In terms of design, this device looks pretty good and still looks modern. And I really like the design of this device. It's a unibody design and looks really good. So in the front, we are getting a 5.99-inch IPS LCD display, which looks good. Viewing angle are pretty good and it's sharp. I really like this display actually, particularly the bezels. So the bezels are symmetrical as you can see here. And mainly if you play games, it is pretty much provide you grip to play games properly. And as for now, as I play games most of the time on my Poco F5 Pro, it got a pretty much bezel-less display, and sometimes I feel very uncomfortable when playing games on that device because sometimes when I touch it doesn't touch because of mistouch. So I prefer this kind of display in terms of gaming, and this device is pretty solid actually. So other things like in front we also got a 13 megapixel camera. Here we got our volume rockers and power button, which are pretty tactile, and right hand side we got a hybrid SIM slot. On top we got a air blaster and a secondary microphone hole, and at the bottom we got our micro USB port to charge the device, and this device does support 18-watt fast charging, speaker grill, 3.5mm headphone jack, and the main microphone. And on the back, what we are getting here actually is a 12 megapixel main sensor with 5 megapixel depth sensor, and there is a fingerprint scanner as you can see here. And I prefer this kind of fingerprint scanner than in-display fingerprint scanner because they are pretty fast and reliable. And talking about the camera, so I don't really like depth sensor, but as you know, 2017 iPhone released their iPhone X, and this camera design actually inspired from that device, and it looks good. Under the hood, this device running on a octa-core Snapdragon 636 processor, which is a decent performer actually for a mid-range device, and it still perform very well for social media and lightweight browsing. You can still do, there will be no issue. And the variant I have here is actually 4 gig 64 gig variant, and as you can see here 636, and it got a 4000 mAh battery, and the battery backup is awesome on this device because the processor does not consume that much power, so it got plenty of battery actually. And in terms of UI, it's pretty much similar to MIUI global variant, but as a Chinese device, it got a lot of bloatware Chinese application, and I did able to uninstall most of them, but there are still few applications. I did able to install Play Store here, which is working perfectly fine, no issue with that. The main issue with the Chinese variant of this device is that you cannot install any kind of bank application here. Bank application does not work, and also there are few more applications which does not work because this device does not have any kind of safety net certification and also Google Play certification. So if I setting about device, so as you can see, device is not certified. Because of that, actually there are few applications which does not work, but rather than that, most of the application does work. And as you can see here, Play Store is working perfectly fine, no issue with that. And in terms of usability, this device is still running pretty well. I have been using this device for a few days now with my SIM card and everything. It works flawlessly, and also this device does support 4G Bow LTE. So if you use Bow LTE, this device still can do Bow LTE calling, so no issue with that. And in terms of camera, which is the main focus of this device back then, actually many people bought this device only for camera because it got pretty beefy camera, 12 megapixel plus 5 megapixel depth sensor. So the camera is pretty basic, as you can see here. We have video, and we can shoot up to 1080p 60 fps with the back sensor, and front sensor can shoot up to 1080p 30 fps. So pretty decent for back then mid-range device, because most of the mid-range device used to get only 1080p back then, not right today. And video and portrait pictures and other things turns out pretty good if you take pictures in daylight, but low light it's pretty much not really that great for today's time. And also portrait, I don't really like portrait that much, although it got a 5 megapixel depth sensor, because if you can put a Gcam here, it will perform much better than your MIUI camera. One of the downside of this ROM right now is that you cannot install any kind of Gcam here. So I have installed Gcam application here. As you can see here, Camera 2 API module is disabled, so you cannot install any kind of Gcam here, and if you install also, it's not going to work. Although this device is running on Android 9, but this device is well supported in custom ROM community. So there are tons of custom ROM available for this device. I also saw HyperOS for this device. In future, I will try some custom ROM on this device, but right now I can't do that because I have to apply for the bootloader unlocking process. I have already applied actually. It will take 2 weeks, and then I will unlock the bootloader and try the custom ROMs on this device. But as for now, with the Chinese ROM, I didn't really face any kind of issue with the device. It works flawlessly actually. There is no issue. Yes, obviously you cannot use any kind of bank application yet, but this device is perfectly usable. And even if you play games, I did play Call of Duty here, and it is performing decently. Obviously, you should not buy one of these devices right now to play games, because these devices are not really for playing games anymore. Lightweight games you can still play, Temple and other things, but if you want online gaming device, you should not buy this kind of device. But these devices are pretty cheap. If you want to use this device as a dumb phone, you can use that. These are pretty solid device. The battery life is excellent. The displays are good, and also the speaker quality is good. Xiaomi's these devices are pretty good in terms of price back then, and still you can get them about for $20 to $30, and I got mine for only for $15, and it's working flawlessly. As you can see here, I've been using this device and I did not face any kind of issue. Basically, this device is perfectly usable device, and as a main device also you can use, but I don't really recommend anyone to buy this device as a main device right now, as this device is not that much reliable anymore, because it is running on older Android version. If you don't have any tech knowledge, you cannot even install custom ROM here. If you install custom ROM and install Android 14 here, it will run most of the application. Even you can install bank application too, because most of the custom ROM does come with safety net support and Google Play certification, and you will be able to install bank application there. The device will be much better actually than this ROM. But if you buy one of these, buy global variant of this device, and it will perform very well. So that's all about Redmi Note 5 AI or Pro. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.